Hi, so I hope you're all still keeping well. I'm going to take you through some examples of how you can build some strength through, the core is really everything from here to here, and not just building the strength, building some awareness into actually using that strength that you've built in your movements. So take a comfortable seat with your feet flat into the floor. Think of lifting your chest, you're lifting your rib cage up away from your hips. And then just play around. So if you're really, really tight through your hips, that could be uncomfortable being close. So you can start with your feet a bit further away, but press down through your feet. And as you press down through your feet, noticing there's a connection here. To increase that connection, press your hands into your knees while you're pressing your feet into the floor. And then as you breathe in and out, keeping that level of tone through here. And then lifting one leg, keeping the resistance through your knee and hand, and lower. And then the other leg, and lower. And then lifting both legs, pressing your knees and hands into each other. Keep breathing. And I would start with 10 seconds, but look to build this up to 30 seconds, and then release down. And then a variation of that is reaching out through your fingertips, lifting your legs up. You can take a 90-degree angle here or close to. Press through your heels, straighten your legs. And then variation 3. On this one, you want to keep your back pressed into the floor. You're going to reach your fingers down towards your toes, lift your shoulders up and lift, and it's just very slight lift of the heels off the floor. And then you're going to keep looking down at your toes, keep reaching your hands down, and you'll feel, I'm feeling quite a burn through here. And again, build up from 10 seconds to 30 seconds. Next one is going to help to build some strength through your obliques, which will help to support the rotation and having maybe not too much rotation. So building some strength here to keep some stillness here when you're running. So come to lying on one side. Stretch your legs. Now you're looking to have a straight line from your shoulder down through your hips, down into your heels. Hips stacked one on top of the other. So I'm not here or here. I could put a pole straight through the middle of this hip down towards the floor. Reach out through your heels. By reaching out through your heels, you're helping to engage your legs. Your leg muscles effectively really start here through the iliopsoas, which is at the back, but this equivalent on the back of your body, and it's a muscle that comes down through here. So by really engaging through your legs, you're actually helping again, engaging everything through here. Reach your arm up towards the ceiling. I find, imagine somebody's pulling my wrist and then following that helps me to lift my hips up and then lower. If this is really, really wobbly for you, start with bent knees and just do that lifting and lowering with bent knees. But you're lifting straight up and straight down. And start with 10 and build up to 30 reps. And it may just be that you start here and you're not getting much of a lift. Work with it. And then you're just gently increasing. Some other variations, so you can start here, then to here. When this is getting easier, you can lift and lower. You can also lift up, bring your knee in, out and down. So that's a couple of variations for that, but it's really looking at keeping your body still as possible within each movement, so you're not getting loads of wobbling going on through the middle here. Next one, bicycles. I'm going to show you a side view and a front view. You're effectively just bending one knee up, and then I'm going to bring the opposite elbow in towards my knee, but lift my shoulders up. So coming up. And you're really looking to twist, really twisting your upper body. And just starting with wherever you're at. So for some of you, that might be very little movement off the ground. It might just be here. But over time, you're going to look to come all the way up and really twisting as far as you can round. And that's really going to work, again, through the obliques. And an example of what you can then do, keeping that, putting that into practice, running arms. So I see a lot of people running along like this. Their whole body is moving from side to side. It's not the most efficient way of going forward. So as you build strength here, whilst there will always be a requirement for your body will need to slightly rotate as you're running along, you don't want loads of rotation like this. And this isn't actually me moving my arms, this is me moving the whole of my upper body. It can be really hard work on a run. So you want to keep this still, drive your elbows back, and then it's standing tall out of your hips. It's like you're really growing tall out of the floor. And again, by building strength here, you're less likely to sag. So by building this strength through all of these muscles, front and back, the movement is then coming from your arms. And there's a small amount of rotation. Just feel what's going on. You want to feel that this is as still as possible. You can do this in front of a mirror, driving your elbows back. And if you really think about engaging through here, you're still allowing a small amount of rotation, but you're not allowing that to happen. And also, what you will probably find as you build strength through here, you're less inclined to hunch because your body's being supported. You're not feeling like you're having to lift your body up by your arms and run along like this. So it's soft, relaxed, but you need that strength to allow you to move freely. And then coming down onto your back, this is going to help you to increase strength through your hamstrings, through your glutes, and through the extensors in the back of your body. So you're going to press down through your feet. Ideally, have your feet pointing straight ahead. Lift up your hips. Keep your arms down to begin with. And then you want to keep your hips as square as possible. So as you're lifting your leg, press down through the opposite leg, but the hips stay in line. If you had a stick going through the middle, the stick doesn't wobble from side to side, it stays here. So my hips are staying still. I can lift this leg, bend the knee in line with my hip, and down. And just as I said, start with 10. You can build up to 30 repetitions. Doing this slowly requires more control. If that feels really easy, you can challenge yourself a little bit more by reaching your arms up towards the ceiling. And then lift. And lower. And then the last one, I call it running man. Basically, reaching back through your heel, take your legs straight back behind you. Again, the secret is keeping your hips both facing forward equally. So I imagine I've got a weight hanging off the hip of the leg that's going in the air. Reaching back through your heel, reach forward through your arm, and then you're going to bring your elbow back and your knee in. And then changing legs. Knee comes in, elbow back. And then come up to standing. If that one's just too much, just start with a high knee. Keep it really simple. But again, rather than being all over the place and dropping all over the place, this is staying tall, square. And this is where at the end of your run, be it a 5K, or even for me, anything from 100 meters where you've given everything and you're really tired, everything starts to fall apart. By putting the strength work in and focusing on what you're doing when you're doing that strength work, having the reasoning why, when you want to call on those muscles that you've been working on, the strength of them, there's a bit more of a connection, you get a bit more of a response. It's never going to be easy, but you can kind of keep this shape, which will allow you to maintain your speed. Rather than when you're really tired and you start sinking, what I mean by that is this, either that happens or you're sinking down here and knees are bending. So it's really building the strength throughout your body so you can still hold your body weight at the end of a run when you're tired. And just play with it. As I said, that's some cues from me. But as you go out with the understanding of why you're doing it, for you it might be a different vision or a different image in your head to get that kind of result. But hopefully that's helpful. As I said, still don't know when we're able to see you face to face. Hopefully 4th of July, it may be later, but I will keep you informed. Take care all.